Hello everyone. I wanted to make a short sermon video today. I'm going to be in 1 Corinthians, the second chapter, 7 through 9 or something like that. And in the King James Version of the Bible. And so it says, "And I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of God, for I determined not to know anything among you save Jesus Christ and him crucified, and I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech with my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but of the power of God. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor the princes of this world that come to naught, but we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery." Okay, I started at verse 1, and I said I was going to start, this is verse 7, so I started way early, but that's fine. "But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they known it, they would have not crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, neither ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him." So I read about 5 or 6 verses, too many, but and I made a video on the deep things of God, so I want to concentrate on a different aspect of it today. I want to concentrate on the exposure. You know, sometimes that was hidden. I'm in this room. If it was dark, you couldn't see me, but when you turn the light on, it exposes that I'm in here. There's things that's there. We just don't know about them yet. Somebody else tells us about them, and we can't get a hold of it because we've never been exposed to it. That's what I like to do at our church, is expose people to things that maybe they hadn't ever experienced before. Exposure is knowing options or choices. It's the condition of being presented to view or made known. Word is revelation. When God shines his light on you can he said study to show yourself approved, but if God don't shine his light on that word, it's like beating your head against a wall. But whenever God shines his light on that word, it's exposed. And limited exposure leaves you unprepared. I want to be exposed to things. I want to get around to people that's done things, went further spiritually than I have. You can't see the forest for the trees kind of thing. I want to get around people that have stretched me, broaden me from my narrow perspective. I want to be around people that push me and challenge me and lift me. And John 1:14 through 17 said, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bare witness of him and cried, saying, This is he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have we received in grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ." The Word was made flesh. God was exposing who Jesus was to man. And that exposure was a revelation to the disciples. I was thinking about, I used to call on grocery stores for 17 years, and then I called on convenience stores for 3 years. But sometimes when you're calling on grocery stores, or if you're shopping, they'll be having a taste test in there. And they'll taste different things, a sausage they'll be cooking, and some new product they want you to buy. And they'll have a taste test with a coupon most times. And the taste test exposes you to what you might want to look into and have more. It exposes you to the product. You know, 1 Peter 2:3 says, "If so be you have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Those taste tests, you might not even know a product existed, but after that you've been exposed to it, and you want more of it. A certain kind of bacon, or a certain kind of sausage, or whatever. And I know I've told you the story about my grandson Grant and the Nintendo. I kept him a lot. I was much younger. I'm 71 now. I was about 40, about 42 when he was born, and then maybe when he got up about 5 years old, 47, I could still do things. He'd ride my back. We'd crawl on the floor like an army man. He'd want to fight. It was in the Power Rangers day, and I just got exhausted of it. And so I asked him, did he have anything we could do sitting down? He no. And I said, what about like school? I didn't know how we were going to play school, but it just sounded to me like something we could sit there. I want to play school. I said, did you bring anything in that bag that we could just sit down? He said, Nintendo. I said, drag it out here. 5 years old, 4 years old, whatever he was, he hooked it up. I had no idea how to do that. And he said, I got 2 controllers. We're going to put on 2 players. This yours, this is mine. I said, okay. And he said, this make him go this way. 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 This make him jump. And I said, well, good. So my time, I think the game was called Mario Brothers. I went down there and there were some monsters. They ate me up. I was out of the game in no time. He got the controller. He went down that road. There was no monster that ate him. Next thing I knew, he was on a motorboat. I never saw the motorboat. I hadn't been exposed to the motorboat. I didn't know it was there. And that's the way it is spiritually. There's things that they're there. We just haven't experienced them yet, so we assume that they're not there, but they're there. Then after the motorboat, he was on an airplane. So how many screens reckon in this spiritually that there are that we may not never know about? So I want to be exposed to what's possible and what belongs to me. But you're testing the product at the grocery store. We're back to that. I'm kind of flip-flopping around. And you say, boy, that was good. And I believe I'll have some more. How much is it? How much is this going to cost me? So that's the way it is spiritually. We find out something is available. I grew up, I didn't even know that there was a Holy Ghost until I got exposed to it and found out that it was real. And that not only was it real, but it was available to me. And so I had to come before him and find out how much it was going to cost me. It's like the olive. They make olive oil. It costs so much in the grocery store to go buy it and pull it off the shelf and take it to the cashier. But to the olive, it costs everything. And how much is it going to cost me? Greatness never goes on sale. It's the full price every time. There's no greatness in the bargain basement. You have to pay the full price. It takes maximum commitment. You have to be committed. And exposure is critical. But exposure and experience is different. You can go to France and meet 10 French people, but that don't make you an expert on it. You could read a book on it, but you have to be exposed. You have to experience it. And we have a tendency to judge the world by our neighborhood. That's as far as we went. We don't know what's on the other side of the city or whatever until we get older, and then we get exposed to more and more things. And a whole bunch of them is bad. He says, study to show yourself approved. Not just read just a little. There's a whole world of study and learning out there. We go to church, but we never reach the spiritual part of it. He said the true worshiper must worship in spirit and in truth. Spirit, the Holy Ghost, truth, the word. Because in John 17:17, he said something like, I think that's the verse, he said, thy word is truth. The word is truth. You know, I heard a story, and I can't remember exactly how that thing went, but it's about a frog in a well. And that he thought that was the whole world. And then one day, I can't remember how it was that he came to get out of the well, but he saw all kinds of things out there he didn't know existed when he's in a well. Are you in a well? You just know about what's in your neighborhood and what's in your well. You may have just experienced one little section of spiritual life, and you're treating it as if it's the whole thing. And you're taking somebody's word that hadn't been exposed to it. Somebody's told you that it didn't exist, no miracles, you know, all that kind of thing. I would to God that you would be exposed to it. People are full of ideas and theories who have never actually been there or done it. I thought about, I used to work for a company in football season. They'd place bets and they'd talk about it. And Monday morning, that was the topic. And I just dreaded seeing Monday morning roll around and hearing that. And they'd say, I'll tell you what, the quarterback, he should have threw that ball out of bounds. He shouldn't have this. And I'm thinking, how many downs in the NFL have you played? You know, to become such an expert. And there's people that I call them Monday morning quarterbacks because they want to tell you about how to be successful financially, and they've been on the brinks of bankruptcy or whatever. And they want to tell you about what to do in your marriage. And their marriage is not that great itself. So I want to be exposed to somebody that's actually been there. And the Word in Jesus exposes you to higher things. If you don't know what God's master plan is, people will abuse you with their agenda. And underexposure makes you make bad decisions, choose bad options. Every now and then you need to be around people with different ideas. You need to be around people that knows. I love to be around people that know more than me, and that's a bunch of people. And just listen. That'd be the thing to do if you're around somebody that knows more than you. And I believe it grieves God that He's built the whole world, and spiritually, I'm talking about spiritually, and you've settled for a closet, a well. God, he said He's going to put you in a large room. He talked about setting your feet on higher ground. We need to expand our thinking and expand our world. Is anybody out there ready to go to the next level? There's a whole lot available to you. I've enjoyed getting this to you today. I want to be somebody that I want to be where I can be pushed into something better, that I can be stretched. I want to be exposed. I want to be around people that, like I said, I want to not be the smartest person in the room, which I don't feel like I ever am hardly, but I want to be where people can make me a better child of God. The things that's in the Bible that He told us about in 1 Corinthians 12, when He talked about the working of miracles, He talked about the gift of healing, and the word of wisdom and the word of knowledge. I want to experience them. I want to not just hear about them in theory. I want to see them in working in progress. So I've enjoyed getting this to you today. I care about you very much. I hope nobody don't mistake my intentions of doing this. I'm not trying to interfere with replace your minister, and I'm not trying to replace you getting to go to church. It's just, I did a radio program about 4 years ago, and I knew that there's people in the hospital. We're not the only ones. We can get to church, but there's people that can't. And I never dreamed it'd be so many of us with this coronavirus. But I want to help them people until they can get back on their feet or whatever. So I've been given my phone number. It's 256-508-4410. If you need me, give me a call. Until we do this again, may God bless you.